Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Under Lockdown, live from my bedroom. And we're joined today by Rebecca and Aidan from Project Gambia. So welcome, Rebecca and Aidan.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having us. Good to see you.
Good to see you as
Even though
well.
it's not physically, it's good to see you from a distance.
I mean, very nice. Interesting. I'm interviewing a lot of Catholics, obviously, across the globe in some ways, but how they're reacting to it. And in the back of my mind, I always thought we need to do Project Gambia because you guys have been like a juggernaut for the last 3 years in the diocese, where you have just not stopped at all. And it's taken a global pandemic for you to actually be locked down. So, how is that going for you?
So yeah, it's been okay. We've been doing a nightly rosary. I'll let Rebecca tell you a wee bit more about that. I know you already know a lot about it, but
so we've been posting a rosary nightly, and lucky enough we've been able to have loads of people joining us from all over the world, and that's with great thanks to Sancta Familia for sharing that.
Thanks.
And helping us out with that.
So what's the aim of the rosary? Is there any specific intention or just a general sort of thing?
So it was kind of started, it was a kind of dual purpose. It was praying, I suppose, for an end to the coronavirus pandemic, but also for the children that we support, over 1,000 children that we support between the 3 different schools in the Gambia as well. Some people have asked us specific intentions throughout the rosary. Now it's been going about maybe 3 weeks or something like that. So we've been able to include that as well. And so that's been nice as well, that people have been asking from all over the world for different intentions to be prayed for too. So that's been nice, yeah.
It's interesting because we're at the coalface in a sense. You're doing social media work, so am I. And I'm seeing a lot of uptake in prayer. I'm seeing a lot of people who are maybe assume are involved with prayer, or maybe have not even practiced in their lives, but they're turning back to the faith. We're seeing that a lot, like from Carfan's page, Sancta's page. What's your kind of insight on that?
That's interesting. Yeah, there was somebody that messaged our Facebook page, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about that exact thing, and they were saying about how they've been joining in the rosary, but they hadn't actually been to Mass in years. They hadn't prayed for years, and I think for a lot of people it does. It's like you were saying, it takes a global pandemic to keep people in the house. It might also take a global pandemic to get some people back to the Catholic faith as well, and I think it's definitely what we are seeing in the people that are tuning into our rosary. A lot of people that aren't Catholic have been tuning into the rosary and watching it, and also a lot of people that probably wouldn't be the type the people that are going to Mass every single week as well. And it's probably the exact same in the feeds that you guys have done. I know Carfin, all the Masses have been, a huge amount of people have been joining in for the Masses. It's probably the exact same thing, and there's a lot of people that maybe initially wouldn't expect would be joining, but it's good that they are, of course, joining in. So yeah, I think it's a horrible thing, obviously, what's going on, but I think the number of people that have been kind of praying and joining Masses, although virtually, joining Masses has been a sort of silver lining in a way as well. Yeah.
So Rebecca, what you've been saying the rosary, or leading the rosary, how has that affected your spiritual life? Has you felt any change in it over the last month?
Well, I've been praying a whole lot more than what I usually would, and it has been bringing a great kind of sense of peace to me. I felt a lot better praying it than what I would just kind of sitting about doing nothing really.
Yeah.
I think you can never find that, because you're saying it yourself, but you know that you're not saying it. That's a kind of a strange sort of feeling, that, because you're saying it yourself, the room's empty, but you know it's not. It's not. It's the same, I suppose. It's a similar way all the priests now in parishes themselves are physically saying the Masses, but they know there's so many people actually joining in over the internet kind of thing as well. And I think it's quite a nice feeling that it gives the kind of a global sense to the Catholic Church, that I suppose more than ever, that everything's happening on a this is happening on a global scale. It's affecting everybody, different countries in different ways, and I suppose that links in quite nicely with what we're doing in the Gambia, because
I see you petting my question now. If we're going to say, you're doing a better job than me, what you're going to say is, that leads me on to the next question. The next question is, how is the coronavirus affecting the Gambia and your work?
So I suppose it's affected it in a few different ways. The first kind of a thing that happened was that the aid trip that we had coming up, that would have happened last month, into this month. That was obviously cancelled at the very last minute. We almost made it, but we never got there. We almost made it. It was about 2 days or something before we were set to depart that it got cancelled. So I think that was kind of it was sad on two different levels. It was sad on a personal level because, I mean, the first thing that I planned to do when we went over there was to go over and see Alu, who was a young boy, for those of you that are watching that don't know, that we brought to Scotland last year. He was born without any ears, and we brought him over for an operation to be able to hear for the first time. So he was staying in Scotland, and we were seeing him every single day for 2 months, and it's been a year since we'd seen him. So I was looking forward to seeing him, and I know that he was looking forward to seeing us, but also the other 1,000 children that we get to spend time with. We were looking forward to seeing them, but it's also been, I suppose, more importantly for the charity, it's been impacted in terms of the admission has been cancelled. So we were due to give out about 1,200 school bags in the Gambia. So they've lots of different things in them, clothes, toothpaste, toothbrushes. What else did we have in them? We had quite a lot of things in them.
Flip-flops, stationery.
Yeah, soap, things like that, like personal hygiene equipment and stuff like that. So all of the children would have got a school bag, but of course that hasn't been able to happen yet. And also the food for the next year for the children at St Patrick's and St Joseph's schools, that was due to be bought as well. So we've had to kind of look at different ways to being able to do that. So it's been a logistical nightmare, I suppose, as well. Now, the schools in the Gambia have been shut for 3 months, but interestingly, the last that we heard, all of the children at St Patrick's and St Joseph's are actually still coming to school because they're coming at school just at lunchtime to get their meal, and then they're going home again. And I suppose it kind of emphasises that although this is a huge problem everywhere, and it's a huge problem in the Gambia because of the fact that the public health surveillance is terrible, the healthcare system is terrible, even though you've got all of that happening, the hunger aspect of it, the hunger is such a huge problem there that for these children, that's a threat every day that they can't get food at school is as real a threat as it is having to kind of do the social distancing and stuff. So that's been interesting to being able to kind of see how that's affected it. And what we were also able to do was there was some of the food at St John's because the children there weren't coming to school. St John's, the school for the deaf, is in the kind of a centre of the Gambia, so it's very difficult for children to get there, and because they're deaf, it's even more difficult. So that school has actually been closed. But what we found was we had loads of food there, and the food's actually going to go out of date because there's no children coming to get the food. So luckily, because of course the teachers haven't been getting paid now for months because there was a strike in the Gambia, and the teachers actually weren't getting paid for about 3 months before the lockdown was initiated. So we were able to give the bags of rice home to the teachers at the school so that they were able to sort of feed them and their families, so they could at least get some kind of a food that they're able to keep themselves going on. So I think it's been a kind of I think it's something that obviously no organisation, charity, anything like that would have ever been able to prepare for this, I think. But now, I suppose another kind of a thing is that, of course, the fundraising side of it, of course, public masses have been suspended, and the parish visits have all been postponed. So
you're reading my mind here. I was going to ask.
I talked to
Rebecca. Now that public masses have been suspended, and you no longer have access to fundraising and revenue, how is the charity Project Gambia adapting? Thank you, Aidan.
So I would say we'll probably say the same. They will happen eventually. Of course, all of the parish priests are so supportive that they will happen when this lockdown is over with, and please God it will be soon. Please God the pandemic will be finished soon. But when all of that is over and done with, things will get back to some kind of a sense of normal eventually. So we know that we will still have access to all of that. It will just take a while, but I suppose everybody that's supporting us is still doing so, and everybody that's playing for us is still doing so, and I think that's the most important thing. And it's nice because I think often charities are kind of a first thing that when financial uncertainty kind of settles in, the first thing that people kind of do away with. And it's nice to see that hasn't really been the case, and that people have still been supporting us the same way that they did before. And of course, we've got our St Patrick's Ball coming up next year on Saturday the
20th of
March next year. And it's been good that even though we only announced that about a month ago, the tickets are still kind of been, so people are still...
I think that's the next time people are going to go out.
That's what I'm thinking. For the time that comes, I mean, for goodness sake, that's about a year from now.
You better stock up on a lot of Guinness for that night, because I would tell you, I would drink a lot of Guinness that night.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the kind of a thing that I suppose was a worry at first that how long will this, and I think nobody knows how long this really will last for, but I mean, we're hoping a year from now everything's back to normal enough for it to happen. So that's going to happen, and then the Hilton Hotel in Glasgow, so I think it can seat just under 1,000, so we're going to have a big push, I suppose, towards the end of this year into next year to try and kind of sell that out or get as close as we possibly can to that. So we were kind of organising acts and stuff like that, but of course that's been kind of put on the back burner just now as well until things kind of settled down as well, but we're hoping to get some big things planned for that as well.
Good. And Rebecca, see if people want to support Project Gambia, having watched this interview, maybe are interested in the work you do, how can they support you in this situation?
Yeah, so there's a few ways that they can do it. They can go onto our Facebook page and they can send us a private message, and we can then give them either our bank details or there's Just Giving, or they can go onto the website alternatively, and it's got the same kind of details on there too.
All right, good. Well, we'll encourage everyone to do their utmost to see what they can do. Obviously, when it gets to this stage and people are losing their jobs and people on furlough, then there are more increased pressures on people, and when it comes to charity work, that's understandable. But some people are still working, some people still have money. So if they can help, I'd certainly encourage them to do so, because we are lucky, as you say, we've got a great NHS system. Okay, there might be some questions about funding and things in the background, but we still have a good NHS compared to countries like the Gambia, for example.
I know that's the thing. I saw something yesterday, and it was in the news in the Gambia, and it was saying something about how they had one ventilator in the whole country, and I think the ventilator wasn't fit for purpose anywhere else in the kind of developed world. So I think that's a kind of a worry as well. There's a big kind of a debate going on just now about COVID-19 in the developing world, about how it's actually going to affect it, because nobody really seems to know, because it's a younger population. The life expectancy in the Gambia is nothing like what it is here, so there's a lot of younger people that might not be affected in the same way. But you've also got the fact that the hospitals could not, I mean, I suppose if somebody was seriously ill with coronavirus, would they be better in the hospital? Would they be better out with the hospital? Because the hospital, going into the hospital itself, has got its own dangers there. The first thing they probably do would stick you with some kind of a needle, and then you end up with some kind of other infectious disease like hepatitis or something like that. So that's a kind of issue as well, I think. But it'll be, I suppose, it's a worry, I think, to see how it ends up happening there. But I suppose, I mean, if there can be a vaccine that's made in the next kind of a year or so and kind of mass produced and can get delivered out to the developing world like that, it would be a huge relief. But I think it's a kind of a way, it's like everywhere else. I think nobody can really predict exactly how the pandemic's going to kind of unfold.
Yeah, we'll keep on encouraging people as well to do that, your rosary, and pray the rosary every night for this to end. And
it's been good, it's been good seeing people kind of tune in and stuff like that as well, and send us nice messages and things as well, because that's, I suppose we're in this age now, I suppose, as well, and praying's going to be what turns the tide on this virus. And I think in praying for us as well, prayers can move mountains. We've seen that with ourselves before. We've seen that everywhere.
The church has a long history, and the church is one of the oldest institutions in the world. So it's seen and defeated pandemics throughout the entire 200 years history, and a lot of examples are through prayer. So I think we're seeing people naturally coming back to that, as I said earlier, and I just think this is something we have to really, really underline, especially as young Catholics, because people have this impression that prayer is outdated, and prayer is not outdated, never has been.
It's not, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So,
on that note, that's the final parting shot with my comb in my hand. Start saying your prayers. If you haven't started praying, pray now. And I'd like to thank Project Gambia for their witness, as they always do great work in the diocese. Not only are they doing charity work, they're also attending masses, they're praying and doing great things. It's a good example for young people living out their faith. So thanks, Aidan and Rebecca, for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Tuning in, is that the word? I don't know. But joining me today, and God bless you and keep you safe.
God bless you too. Thanks, John.
See you later on.